So last year, there's a young man named Ahmaud Arbery who was killed, right? And I covered this here. And there's been a development in his case, okay? And I want to play you this video just so you can get an idea of what just happened, okay? Take a look.
After the former Ahmaud Arbery, his family speaking out after the former district attorney is charged, accused of interfering in the investigation into the Georgia man shooting. ABC's Alex Prochet spoke with Arbery's mother.
This morning, a Georgia prosecutor who was handling the murder case of Ahmaud Arbery now facing criminal charges of her own. Former Brunswick District Attorney Jackie Johnson indicted this week by a grand jury for alleged obstruction and hindering law enforcement and for allegedly violating the oath of public office.
This 2-count indictment of a former sitting district attorney is a shocking turn of events.
Prosecutors say Johnson showed favor and affection to one of the men now charged for Arbery's murder, Greg McMichael. He once worked as an investigator in her office. They also say Johnson directed police not to arrest McMichael's son Travis after the fatal shooting. February of last year, Ahmaud Arbery, a 25-year-old black man, was jogging when he was chased and confronted by 3 white men, the McMichaels and their neighbor William Roddy Bryan. The men accused Arbery of break-ins in their neighborhood, the deadly encounter ending with Travis McMichael allegedly shooting Arbery with a shotgun as Bryan filmed. For more than 2 months, there were no arrests, until that cell phone video leaked and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation took over the case. Johnson's lawyers told ABC News they won't comment on ongoing litigation.
They said that Ms. Johnson failed to treat Ahmaud and his family fairly and with dignity. What do you think dignity would have been?
To protect Ahmaud as a human being first.
Prosecutors say Johnson called neighboring District Attorney George Barnhill to advise police after the incident, something Johnson allegedly never disclosed before Barnhill took over the investigation.
We're hoping that the evidence will be sufficient to indict George Barnhill.
Barnhill has not been charged, and it remains to be seen if further indictments will follow. For Ahmaud Arbery's mother, this indictment is vindicating, but the progress doesn't erase the pain.
Because I am Ahmaud. I am Ahmaud Arbery.
The McMichaels and Bryan have pleaded not guilty, and this case is now being handled by the district attorney in Cobb County, just outside of Atlanta, a completely different county from where former district attorney Johnson worked. Dan?
So this is an incredible story. This is an incredible story, okay? So, again, I don't know how much trouble I'm going to get into with YouTube censoring this crap. Like, yeah, it's horrible. It's gruesome, but we got to report on it. I mean, just to recap in case you didn't understand, they killed this man, 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery, right? So he's younger than me, right? I'm 29, he's 25. He was jogging, and they claim that he broke into their house. Well, last time I checked, you can't kill someone for breaking into your house. No less in Georgia. They don't have this stand your ground law. Also, he was on the street. He was on the road where you drive the car. He's not in your house. You can't kill someone on the highway or on the road while they're jogging and then, he broke into my house. On the highway? What? Yeah, that's what they did. And the people who killed him, the McMichaels, because it was the son and the father, right? Nothing happened for 2 months. Okay? So take a look at this. February 23rd, he was tragically gunned down, okay, while he was jogging. And it's on tape, right? And then there's nothing for months until May. Can you imagine you kill someone and then there's nothing for 3 months? Why was there nothing for 3 months? Because this woman, the district attorney, who I just showed you over here, okay? There she is. The former district attorney, right? Jackie Johnson. She used to work with the father, right? The McMichael, who participated in the murder. And because they're former colleagues, and he's a former investigator, right? She was like, no, I don't think anyone should be arrested. Just go home. I mean, if that's not corruption, I don't know what is. And so she's being charged now with obstruction and hindering of law enforcement, okay? And what else? She's also being charged with violation of oath. I mean, honestly, that's covering up a murder, what she did. It's a bit more than just violating oath. She covered up a murder, right? And now she has been finally arrested and charged. But you get what's happening. Like, this is so twisted, this whole thing. Like, if that tape had not come out, they would have just covered up the whole murder. They killed this fucking man. They killed him. And I was just thinking before, I was like, dude, how many? Do you remember how many people we covered last year? Ahmaud Arbery, Rashard Brooks, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake. Like, I'm forgetting the names. I was thinking it's just like with Palestinians. There are so many Palestinians who are killed and brutalized by the Israelis. You can't keep up. Doesn't that say something about the level of brutality? It says, come on, man, you have to look at this and take a step back and be like, there's something wrong here, you know? Like, you saw me. I can't even remember the names. It's just 5. It's just 5. Never mind all the others, right? In 1 year. I mean, this is obscene, right? It shouldn't even be one person. You have the state, the state murdering someone, an extrajudicial killing. How can you come here and say that this is lawful, you know? How can you say that this is correct? This is corruption. It's a murder cover-up. That's what it is. Literally, they murdered this man. He was unarmed. He was jogging. He was not in anyone's house. They killed him, and they tried to cover it up. Clear conflict of interest. Former colleague, the district attorney, and investigator. Come on. No. This is one thing that we know about. Can you imagine all the other people who get killed? Their life taken away, their life. And we don't know about this because they were able to cover. No, this is unbelievable, man. This is really unbelievable. State sanctioned, extrajudicial killings just like that. The street justice. What is that? What is that? I mean, we talked about this before, but just hypothetically speaking, let's say he robbed you and took every cent. You still can't kill the man. Like that's not, what is that? You can't just kill someone like that, especially they're not even in your house, as the tape clearly shows. And not just that, it's not just that, there was a cover up. She tried to, the district attorney, right? So, I mean, I obviously I don't think that's going to make up for any of it for his family, but it's, it's kind of, it sends a shiver down your spine. I'm like, okay, well, what else has happened? Not just in this county particularly, but other ones, right? So anyway, I get into a lot of heat for covering these usually. When I covered Jacob Blake, for example, when I cover these usually, like there's so many of them, right? Like this is what's sick. Do you understand what I'm talking about? When I covered Jacob Blake, how they had him hooked, handcuffed to the hospital bed, YouTube didn't like age restrict the video. They fucking took it down. Can you imagine? They're like, no one can watch this. And then I appealed it and they age restricted it. And it's still age restricted to this day. Do you know, last week I was on Russia Today and I was talking about what happened at Kabul airport. That video is age restricted. There's literally nothing in the video that is by any means graphic. Nothing. I'm just talking about what happened. How can you report on the news? How can I talk about the news? And I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. But of course, if ABC, this video that I just showed you was ABC, or NBC, or BBC, or any mainstream channel covers the exact same story, and they say everything politely with the exact same register and language, nothing's going to happen to them. Nothing is age restricted. On the contrary, YouTube will promote their channels, right? Sorry, I know I'm going off a bit on a rant, but people shouldn't have to like tone down what we're talking about and hinder us from reporting the news, because this is really messed up, man. I mean, they just extinguished this man's life, and it's really messed up. He's not the only one, And as far as I can tell, they might get away with a slap on the wrist. You know why I say this? Because if you look at what happened with George Floyd, right? The 4 cops. I mean, first of all, let's rewind a second. What happened to the Buffalo Springs Police Department? Do you remember? All charges dropped. They actually, they threatened. Do you see how this is amazing? How the police, when they murder someone, or in this case, they cracked this poor man's skull who's 75 years old. It's all on video. I'm not making it up. You can watch the video, and if you think that's orderly, I don't know what to tell you. But when they were going to get in trouble for that, the whole police department banded together and they're like, we're going to quit if you don't stop messing with us. Incredible how they have class solidarity. Incredible how they understand how to use their collective power, right? Same with the rich, right? And the ruling elites, of course, in DC and Whitehall and so on. Incredible. They understand class solidarity down to a science. To a science, okay? And then they try to convince you, no, you don't need this. This is, no, this is bad. Communists. Yeah, look at how they worked. Look at how they act, right? In any case, I just want to give you that example that there was no adequate response to this police brutality. George Floyd, I mean, you saw the trial. You saw what happened at the trial. Do I need to say any more? There's really something off on here. And this is another example of that, although I would argue this is even worse. I mean, this is such a cover-up. If that tape hadn't come, I wouldn't even, I just want to get you to understand what's going on here. That's all, It's heartbreaking. So in any case, and Jacob Blake, for example, he's paralyzed for the rest of his life. He's paralyzed. Can you imagine that? I'm sorry, man. I don't know what justifies paralyzing someone for the rest of their life, but certainly not walking towards their car. No, you need to learn something, man. When you look at, like, there's other ways of handling this. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you go and you look at videos, and there are many online, of British police, and by no means are British police perfect, believe me, but they don't have guns, and they are forced to handle violent situations with another method, which does not involve killing or paralyzing someone. So my point here is that there is another way. You don't have to reach for the gun. You don't have to. That's not a certainty, because I can provide you yourself can go and look, and there's evidence of other alternative methods. And if you think that the police, because you have people come and say, well, the police shouldn't have to waste the manpower of 40 cops just to subdue one person. Well, what you're saying then is we should basically just kill delinquents. Like, anyone who starts a fight or who poses any minimal danger should be killed by the state. What the fuck are you saying? Like, listen to yourself, So anyway, I'm just saying there's another way to do things which, should not involve extinguishing people's lives. I think that's a sane fucking rational thing to say, no?